around here, we live in the desert, and we'll do this rain or shine.
I'm going to introduce you to Joe Reed.
Hi, my name is Joe Reed, and I'm an auctioneer here at Big Star Auction.
John Jackson, and I work for Big Star Auctions.
My name is Sharon, and I work for Big Star Auctions.
Hi, I'm Billy Aiken, and I work for Big Star Auctions.
My name is Debbie Seward. I'm the co-owner of Big Star Auctions.
7, 8, 9, 9.
My name is Phil Seward. I'm the owner of Big Star Auctions.
Big Star Auctions. Special Big Star Auction Show with the best of episodes 1 and episode 2. People come to the Big Star Auctions from every state around the country, as well as Canada and Europe.
Well, I got started in this business purely accidentally. I had a best friend of mine. He called me up and asked me if I'd give him a help with his father-in-law to set up some auction stuff. It's a great job, if you want to call it a job, but it was just purely accidental I got into this. People told me for years, Phil, with that big mouth of yours, you ought to do something, make a living with it. Well, guess what? This is what I do with my big mouth now. I've been in the industry for 15 years. It's been a joy. We've run across all kinds of people. You have your people that buy for end use, take it home, use it, enjoy it. We have people that buy for resale. They're really funny because they tend to get beat up by the end user most of the time. The end user will always pay a little bit more because they want to take it at home, where the resale person, they want to make a little bit of profit on it. That's what's great about the auction business. We leave room for everyone. Well, around here, we live in the desert. We've been working outside for well over a decade, and we'll do this rain or shine. When it's 110 degrees out there, we turn the misters on, we pick the big industrial fans out, and people will hunker down in front of those fans, and they've got misters on them, so they'll be, at the end of the day, wringing their shirt out, but they're happy. They take all them great things that they bought that day, and off they go. Now, let's talk about when it rains, because it does rain here in Arizona on occasion. We get what we call a 10-inch rain. That's a raindrop every 10 inches apart. And the other day we had one out here, and you would have thought people would have just said, we're going home. No way. These folks brought their own umbrellas. They stood in places inside looking out the windows. Weather around here doesn't stop us. Rain or shine at Big Star Auctions, we have a great time. My job when I'm looking at that crowd and I can tell that person over there is ready to bid. I'll tell you what, they may not know they want it, but by the end of the session, they're taking it home. I know before they know. I know their likes, their dislikes. I know the professional buyers are buying for resale. I know how to hit them up right at the right dollar amount where they'll bid. I know the grandma over there that's looking at somebody else and doesn't want her to have it. She'll outbid her every time, and I work them against each other all the time. I'll tell them, you shouldn't let her get away with that for $1. That's only a price of a soda. You need to keep bidding, and just one more time, and I know it before they do. I get more money out of them that way just by, if it was my wife, I'd make her buy it for me.
Last chance. We did not meet the reserve. If you're serious about it, please see me after the sale. I look for a $1,000 bid. We'll start at 500. Move you that way. Who goes 7.5? 500 bid, not 7.5. Not 7.5. But it goes 7.5. What? Again, sold at $200 on a call. Number 99. What's? Twice. Sold at $6 your way. Number 690. This is a replica. It is being sold with reserve. It is heavy bronze, and I mean heavy. I'm going to go ahead and start off at 100. Who go 150? 100, 150, now 200. 150, now two to the reserve. 250 here, 3 your way. 350, 400, 450, 500. We're selling it. 550, 5 1/4 to help you out, right, Connie? 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. We're working good together. 575. 550, not 575, not 575, we're going 575, 600, 6 1/4, 670, 650, 6 1/4, now 650, now 650, when you go 650 once, 625, now 650 twice. Are we all in, all done? Last chance. Sold at $650, number 578. Give him a round of applause. That was a really nice thing.
I really enjoy what I do, and I want to show you some of the things that we do around here that are rather very interesting. Right over my right shoulder, you'll see a beautiful nude painting that was painted by a French artist by the name of Jean Hogg. He was born in 1854 and lived till 1906. It's a very old painting here. It was consigned to us to sell with reserve, a minimum selling price.
This nude was painted sometime between 1850 and 1890. It is the real deal. We've seen pieces of his artwork of a quarter this size go for many thousands of dollars. This one is being sold with reserve, folks. These are the kind of things that Sotheby has been selling over there on the East Coast. Very rare. It's a one of a kind. It is being sold with reserve. Who's going to start me off at $2,000 on this? I look for $2,000 bid. Would you go 2,000? Would you go 2,000? Would you go? How about 500? We'll get started. 500 bid now 6. Would you go 6? We're gonna move this one today. $500 bid now 6. No interest. Once, twice. We're gonna have to pass that one up, folks.
We put it out on the block and it did not meet the minimum reserve. And after contacting my client and speaking to him, he was willing to let me purchase the painting for his reserved price.
Big Star Auctions.
We have beautiful farmland down here in Southern California, and we've come to a very old primitive farm. We're going to be having a really nice auction here. We're going to be auctioning off some tractors, implements, old farm equipment, farm tools, things of that nature. Let's go see what kind of great merchandise we can find to tease the public with.
1 week before the auction, all the preparations are taking place for the future auction date, including examining, evaluating, and logging in each item.
70-20 to run this morning. It's going to be very helpful to us when it comes time to drag some of these implements and things like that out of here. We've got a big John Deere toolbar here today. That's going to be very profitable for us. It'll probably take us about 5 hours to sell it and probably about 3 days or so to get it all moved. You'll find lots of old farm trailers. Farmers build trailers for just about every reason on the planet. This is where we find all the really great things. When you start looking up underneath the brush. There's a land leveler under here. It's kind of hard to see, but we've got a level underneath here we're going to have to drag out of there.
In this industry, sometimes it becomes necessary to break out the big equipment. On this particular sale, we had to bring in a reach forklift in order to get into vehicles that were buried in the brush 15, 20 years. Rollers that you could barely see a small part of it, and just literally dig them out from underneath the brush and the other things like that.
On any farm, you need small tractors, big tractors. We have this Alice Chalmers here. We're hoping to get that one to run today. How are we doing over here? Finding more treasure over here, are we? Korean War. 1950 what? 1954, that ammo box came from the Korean War right there. It's brass. But what makes this one really unique is this bead that's going around here. Very, very rarely do you see that bead going around these like this. That's a very old spittoon. Hey, Don, are you headed over that way?
Yeah.
Why don't we throw that one in the trailer? We'll take that one with us. That is very unique spittoon. Look what we found! I think it's let's see, I think it's about a 80 something. Well, can't get the door open. I think it's probably about 83, 84. Mercury Continental. Oh, it's a Lincoln Continental. Sorry, not Mercury. But it looks like it's a great home for the chickens and kitties. We are going to sell this car. Yeah, the motor's in there. Well, it's got a battery in it. That's a plus. Nice old farm truck here. No air conditioning on these. I tell you, we just roll the windows down. You think a mouse is cute. We don't. He'll eat the wiring right out of this truck. But this baler should glean us $2,000-3,000 at least. They still use them around here very often, quite often. How would you like to repair your boot? It's a shoe last. It's for repairing your shoes. On the farm, you got to do everything to save money.
It's Alice Chalmers 7020 with the power shift. I don't know. Keep tuned. We'll see how much she goes for. She should bring us quite a bit. We're hoping for $4,000 or $5,000 on this one. I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens. Boy, there are times we sure need to break out the big equipment here. This truck here has been sitting there for about 10 years. There's no hope of air and tires, or it's starting and driving out. So we got to get the big boy out and just drag her out of here and get it all set up. Do you know what that is? Well, I'll tell you later.
Star Auctions.
Did you find out what this was? Boy, it's a unique item. Think fingernails, but sheep size, goat size. It's a horn lopper. When young goats come up, we cut their horns off so they don't injure each other when we're taking them to feed. That's what that is.
My name is Marilyn Bush. I'm from Westport, Washington. And I come to the auction, Big Star Auction, the only one really good here. You can get things reasonable. He's honest. He's fair. But most all, he's honest. He tells you, and he doesn't sell junk that's broken. I bought a beautiful portable barbecue. I went on internet to check out the price, and it was $300. I got it for $60. I'm a happy lady.
Never get away from is good old vices. You find vices everywhere. We all have them, but this is a good one here. It's seen many a project. I certainly believe that. Car ramps are always valuable around the farm. You can tell this is where all the big work got done, the heavy stuff at least. We've got this ideal crane. Yeah, we don't have any snakes around here. The chickens keep them at bay. Believe it or not, the chickens keep them snakes out of here. We'll sell the whole caddy right where it sits. Somebody will get a great deal. What do you think that boat cost, Don? $6, $7?
Oh yeah, it's more than that.
Probably more than that, huh?
Nothing.
Well, some jumper cables. We did say jump. Pack rats. It amazes me. You saw how hard that was to get open, but yet the pack rats can get in here. I don't know how they do it, but the old farm shop. Boy, can you find things in an old farm shop. What are we finding in here, fellas? Old double bit axe. It's a frog gig. We use this to, they would have walked along the canal up there and speared frogs, and you eat their legs. They're delicious. This planter is probably 50 years old, but it'll still do the job for another 30. By this piece right here, this is a stock trailer. It's made to carry a couple of cattle in here and choke their heads off. Well, keep their heads stationary while they're traveling. These tires right here you see are the duals that are part of that 720 Alice Chalmers back there. When we sell that tractor, these dual rear tires will go with it. We were sure lucky by being able to get that one pumped up today, because this tire alone probably weighs about 800 pounds. Well, you know, we've seen these sell out across the block for a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand. It just really depends on its condition, things like that. Air the tires up on it for us so they're a little bit better, and we'll stage it over on the other side, so get it prepared to be moved.
1 week later, it's auction day, and Philip has a huge problem. One of the most important auction items, the tractor, will not start. A tractor that doesn't start cannot be sold.
Start! Shit. Oops. Only when I don't want it to. Wow, there's a pump on it. I've been pumping up.
Yeah, but the line going to the
Oh, okay.
out, let it spit out a little oil, tighten it out.
Let me try it again. You awake?
Oh yeah, I'm awake.
All right, let's see what this pig's gonna do. Here we go. Cross your fingers. That's she seems pretty pumped up to me. Cross your fingers. Here we go. Yeah! We got about 5 minutes or so before we get started. Let's move out to the back, folks. Here, come on with me. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the sale today. Please remember, everything is sold as is, where it is, and the condition it's in. No guarantees, no warranties, no refunds, no exchanges. All sales are forklift is for hire. It's not free, folks. It's $5 a pick. If you want me to load your stuff up, it's $5 a pick. You go see Miss Debbie. You get a little ticket. You pay her the $5 a lift. Figure out how many picks you need. Buy that many tickets. You're going to give me a ticket, or I'm not going to touch it. I think it's well worth $5 to load that land leveler up there on your truck. You know, we'll take your cash, your checks, your credit cards, MasterCard, Visa, Discover. We do not take American Express. We do not charge you to use your credit cards. However, be aware there's a 10% buyer's premium. We're going to add 10 cents to every dollar that you bid, and 6.7% tax. I know I'm standing in California, but I operate out of Arizona, and every sale that I have to tax whether I'm here, there, or somewhere else. Now this remote fits that small Chalmers tractor up front there, so let's go ahead and start the bidding off. Look at me, a $20 bid on that motor. Look for a $20 bid. When you go 20, 20 and a half, when you go 17 and a half, when you go 17 and a half, now 20. 20 your way, now 25. When you go 25, 20 bid, now 5, now 5. When you go 25, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Once, twice, sold it. $20 your way, number 112. All right, on this stock trailer right here, who's going to go ahead and give me 25 to start on that? 5, now 10. $5 bid, now 10, now 10. Would you give me 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, $5 bid, now 10, now 10. Once, 7 and a half, help you out one time, twice. Sold it. $5 your way, number 112. Number 112. Okay, on this nice big Alice Chalmers 7020 tractor right here, and of course there's plenty of implements for it. We're hoping for $4,000 or $5,000 on this one. I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start the bid off at 500. Who goes 7 and a half? 500 bid, now 7 and a half, now 7 and a half. When you go 7 and a half, 500 bid, now 7 and a half. 1,000, 1,250, 1,500, 2,000. We'll go 22 and a half. $2,000 bid, now 22 and a half, now 22 and a half. When you go 22 and a half, once. 22 and a half, 25, 2750, 3,000, 3250, 3,500, 37 and a half, 4,000 to you. When you go 4,000? How about 3,800? That help you out, Matt? 38, 39, 3,800 now, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3,800 now, 9. Once, twice, sold it, $3,800. Thanks a lot, Matt. That was a great buy. I really do appreciate that. Do you know what that is? Well, I'll tell you later.
Big Star Auctions.
It's a horn lopper for cattle that cuts the horns right off of there.
Big Star Auctions is very friendly, good merchandise, easy to get along with, and I just really enjoy it. It's a hobby.
When we're speaking of ivory, one of the things we mentioned was elephant ivory. Just recently, we came across a beautiful upright piano that had a full ivory keyboard on it with one small chip in one of the mid keys. That ivory keyed piano was manufactured in 1850 something. I think it was 1856 to be exact. It was ordered by a Mexican family in Mexico City, right straight from the manufacturers in Germany. It was a custom-made piano, but the nature of elephant ivory and the fear of it out there in the public makes it very hard to sell without documentation. If you can't prove it's over 100 years old, you can't move it, you can't own it, you can't store it, you can't sell it. You must have the documentation. In this particular case, there was a really beautiful medallion on the inside of the sounding board that dated it at 1856. So another very unique item that Big Star Auctions has had the pleasure to sell. The piano we sold for $350. If the man really wanted to make some money on that piano, he could easily sell the keyboard alone for well over $1,500, $1,800, just the keyboard alone. And that would be a shame. I think that the value of the piano is probably going to exceed $5,000 to $7,000.
Go tick, 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 tick.
I think the most money I've ever made in one sale, it took me 20 minutes to do it. I sold the item for $675,000. Which made for a rather nice payday that day. I made about $40,000 in 20 minutes. It was a large ranch on about 12 acres. It was a gorgeous custom-made home, all Italian marble in it. It was absolutely beautiful. We do sell real estate here at Big Star Auctions, and we do it just like any other real estate company would. We put a reserve on it, a minimum selling price, and we take it across the block in order to get this item sold.
A client drops by to get Phil Seward's expert advice on selling a bronze sculpture.
Taking it up to the gallery where it was.
They appraise it?
Yes.
And how much do they appraise it for?
$9,000.
All right. Well, it sure is beautiful, though.
So anyway, I didn't know if you carry anything like that and what your terms were.
Well,
That's why I stopped by.
Yuma is not the place to sell that bronze.
Okay.
Prescott, you can sell that in Prescott. The Scottsdale up there. Find people who deal in bronzes in that area and consign it to them.
Okay.
Not that I'm trying to put myself out of work. It's just that folks, when it comes to expensive bronzes, are not willing to spend the money here in Yuma. We're a retirement community. That's a large purchase. For folks that are living on fixed incomes in a retirement area like that. So
that's why we're selling it. We're retired on a fixed income. And we've enjoyed it for a number of years, and now we're ready.
Somebody else's turn to enjoy it, isn't it? Well, that's great. Very much. Well, I'm sorry that I couldn't help you with your bronze.
No, I've got your card. John, give me some of your cards.
Here's one so you can lose one. That's, even though I turned someone away, if I can give them a good piece of advice, they'll be back.
I came across a 1930s file holder. Isn't that cool? This is going to be on here my Big Star Auction desk. I'll be able to take my files. I'm finally be able to see my desk because I got this really cool file holder here. I was so proud to get this thing. It's brass. It's really heavy, and I really like it. Hey, while I got you on the line here, let me tell you a little story that I got. In 1990, we had a train derail right out here off of Yuma, right out there by the Gila River. It's full of brand new Camaros. And I tell you what, when they wrecked that train, they went out there and they pulled every brand new Camaro out of the rail cars and they donated them to different colleges, high schools, trade schools, and things like that so they could use them to train with. Now, these vehicles were never supposed to go back out on the road, and guess what? Arizona Western College had 2 of them, and I got to buy them both. I'm going to show you what they look like now. In 1990, this was a brand new car. Didn't have 1 mile on it. Now, all these years since 1990, this car has 46.2 miles on it. What they did with this car is they used this car, I'll open the hood for you here, is they opened this car and they destroyed the hood on it. They used this car to test the electronic connections, the computer, stuff like that. So that's why it's only got 40 some miles on it. What I'm going to do with this, because it's an under 100 mile car, we're going to restore this vehicle, We're going to put it away for 20 years, and this vehicle should probably bring us 50 to 60,000 in 20 years because it's less than 100 miles, and it's a T-top Camaro. Now this drop top, this convertible is a 1990. It has an LS1 Corvette motor in it. Now this vehicle only has 74 miles on it. But as you can see, the students have torn apart the steering wheel. They poke holes in things. They're bored. They got nothing else to do. But the best part about this is that Corvette motor right there. This one does run. We've had it running, but that Corvette motor right there is going to make this probably a $60,000 car in 20 years because it's a convertible, because it has less than 100 miles on it, and because it has the Corvette motor in it. I bought this car for $150. I bought that one for $100. I bought this truck about 10 years ago. This is a 1937 Dodge 1.5-ton truck. It belonged to a guy by the name of Fred Nussbaumer. That's why we call it Fred. Right over here, he penciled just before he died. He put his name on here in pencil, Fred. And now since it's washed off, but we still call it Fred. Now this 37 Dodge has all new interior in it, all new wiring in it. The motor's been rebuilt, the drivetrain's been gone through. And I paid $700 for this truck. We've been all through it. It runs like a top. And the next part of this project is putting the flatbed on it. We rebuilt the motor in it. It's got the old flat 6 in it. Got the old flathead 6 in her. I just squirt a little gas in her. She'll fire right up. We drive her all around. It's cool. It's a really cool truck. Most folks would just look at this as just an old iron-wheeled cart. Most people don't know what it is. I'll tell you in a few minutes exactly what it was. Have you figured out what this was yet? Well, it's big. It's got steel wheels on it. And it took a gargantuan woman to push this flower cart. That's what it is. 169, 165, now 165. What do you go 165 once? Twice? Sold at $160. Give him a round of applause. That was a great night. Are you doing okay today, sweetie?
I'm doing okay.
You all right? Did you bring me cookies today?
No, I
Well, that's okay. You brought.
run out of peanut butter. I got to go.
You
get
run out of
something.
peanut butter? Oh, I'm going to Sam's Club, and you're never run out of peanut butter again. I'll tell you. Best cookies in the world here. Thank you, Miss Betty. Let me introduce you to some really great friends of ours. Miss Marge Zahner here. We lost Harold, her husband, a little while back. And several years ago when we opened this company up, Harold and Marge came to us. This is Mark, her son. Harold and Marge came to us to sell some items. And when we were over at the house, we noticed this beautiful mural that was sitting outside here. And we tried to convince them into, maybe they wanted to sell it, something like that. And they insisted instead of that, no, Phil, we want you to take it down to the shop and display it down there. It's such a nice piece, people will enjoy it. Well, after we had it down here for quite a while, it was just kind of around the shop here, and we decided we're going to make some brackets, we're going to put it on the wall, we're really going to display this beautiful piece here. And after Mr. Harold passed away.
Yep. Okay.
Take your time.
Okay.
It's hard.
Yep.
Marge came to us and said we couldn't buy it, but we could display it and have it because it was such a great piece. We've done a lot of work together.
We did.
And they really enjoyed us having this. So, we put it up here on the wall and we dedicated it to Harold and Marge for their wonderful gift to us. Thank you.
Well, he said, how much would it cost if he, bought it? And I said, if you have $999.99, you can have it. Well, he looked at me kind of dumbfounded, like, what are you talking about? So when we came back here, I told him I wanted to see him in his office, and I told him to close the door, and I said, instead of you buying it, we're just going to give it to you. And I told him there would be tears, and he didn't believe me, and there was.
I still can't get away from it. Still tears.
And so they made this plaque, and then they put by this plaque, which I think is great. So We
Thank
think
you
a lot.
much.
We think of the world and all of him and Deb very, very much.
You guys are the greatest to us, too.
So,
Thank you.
well, we do it. So.
Life, love, friendship.
You see it 2 miles ahead of you.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, good morning, Dad. Sorry, folks. How you doing this morning?
Selling my car?
I'm selling your car. It's a 03 Jaguar. Got 149,000 miles on it and a little bit. What was kind of interesting to me, the fella brought it in and he says, I bought this car for my 16-year-old son. He don't like it. We went through quite a few vehicles this morning, but it's just before Christmas. So cars tend to be just a little bit slow in the Christmas season. I'm telling you what, we sold a Jaguar today that was absolutely beautiful, and they literally just got the best deal on the planet for it. The Jaguar was bought for a 16-year-old young man by his parents, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it. I don't understand how I would have killed for a Jaguar when I was 16, but that's just the nature of the kids down today. So,
I have a very interesting item here today. Do you know what this is? Well, I'll open it up in a few minutes and let you know, show you exactly what you're looking at here. If you haven't figured out what this is yet, let me open it up and show you. This is an antique Victrola record player. Now, this didn't have electricity back then. You took and you wound this up, the spring inside. Nice Glenn Miller record here. I'm going to turn it on. We're going to go ahead and let it come up to speed. We're going to bring the sound horn over to it. We're just going to go ahead and set that right on there. Okay, now, there you go. An antique Victrola talking machine is what this was called. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn up the volume. Are you ready for this? All the sound comes through the head, through the horn, and out the speaker. If you want to turn it down, this is how you adjust the volume. Glenn Miller. The value of this is probably running right around $450 to $500. The records alone should bring about 50 a pack. This caricature was made for me many years ago by an artist by the name of Tom Huffstead. Tom was out at the Yuma County Fair for 25 years doing these caricatures. I was the last person to ever have my a caricature done by him, and he retired. This is the last one he ever did out at the Yuma County Fair. And I told him, make me an auctioneer and should sell him something. He wants me to sell a horse. So I've only sold like 3 horses in my entire career, but I thought this is very cool. It kind of looks like me.
Phil is angry. The day of the auction, someone has distributed flyers for a yard sale, placing in each of his customers' windshields parked on the Big Star auction lot.
Okay, I just want to let you know, we don't appreciate this. If you want to do business, you do it on your own time, in your own property, at your own business, not at Big Star Auctions. If someone wants to promote things, I'm willing to work with them, but please don't go through my parking lot putting flyers on here on my customers out here. I don't appreciate it. It's unethical, and I wouldn't do it to any other people. I've said what I have to say about it. Please don't do it again. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tana Schroeder, and I'm here to share an experience with Phil Seward of Big Star Auctions that when I met him, what happened and how honest and fair he was with me. I met him about 9 years ago, and I had an excessive amount of furniture when I moved down here. So I was told about Phil. I called him, and one of the items that I had was a Christmas tree. And I told him that I had lost weight and I lost this really beautiful ring in a tree. And I said, so the tree's worth a lot of money. And so anyway, he came back to the house after the auction, and he says, I think I'm going to make your day. And he's talking to me with his hands. I think I'll make your day twice. And I said, what? And he said, he handed me a check, and it was substantial. And so he said, I think I can make it again. I said, how's that? He said, well, I just think I can. And I didn't catch, but here he had taken that tree and shook it until the ring fell out. And he brought it back to me. And we've had a relationship ever since then. And I would suggest that if you have any needs at all, go to Phil.
I think she kind of leaves out the best part for me, which was I was wearing the ring on my little finger, and I hadn't mentioned it to her, but I kept like this.
She kept, making your day. I'll make your
look,
day.
until she noticed. I wanted her to notice, and then when she noticed it, she was
I was
a little scream and a little bit speechless, and just so excited. She jumped up out of her chair and was so thankful that we'd found the ring. You just can't understand how great a feeling it is to see the look on Tana's face whenever I showed her that we had actually found her ring.
Last chance. We did not meet the reserve. If you're serious about it, please see me after the sale. I look for a $1,000 bid. We'll start at 500. Move you that way. Who goes 7.5? 500 bid, not 7.5, not 7.5. Would go 7.5. What? Again, sold at $200 on a call. Number 99. Number once, twice. Sold at $6 your way. Number 690. This is a replica. It is being sold with reserve. It is heavy bronze, and I mean heavy. I'm going to go ahead and start off at 100. We'll go 150, 100, 150, now 200, 150, now two to the reserve, 250 here, 3 your way, 350, 400, 450, 500. We're selling it. 550, 5 1/4 to help you out, right, Connie? 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. We're working good together. 575. 550, not 575, not 575, we're going 575, 600, 6 1/4, 670, 650, 6 1/4, now 650, now 650, when you go 650 once, 625, now 650 twice. Are we all in, all done? Last chance. Sold at $650, number 578. Give him a round of applause, that was a really nice thing.
Good morning, folks. We've come across a very unique item. I'm going to read a little bit of history here for you folks. This has to deal with the assassination of President James A. Garfield. Death of President Garfield. Tragedy struck the nation's capital on July 2nd of 1881 when a drifter named Charles Gattu shot newly inaugurated President James A. Garfield in the back at a downtown train station on the morning of July 2nd, 1881. James Garfield arrived at the hospital and he passed away. One of the most interesting things we have, and the reason we bring up a President Garfield, because he didn't even make it a whole year. Well, right here is a nice little plant stand or phone table, and on the bottom of this here, if you can see it, it says, this table was given by President Garfield's son to Bud Swisher, who was Garfield's chauffeur. Bud Swisher was the maternal great uncle to Shirley Christ DeWitt. This table actually belonged to President Garfield. Now, we came across this in a storage locker of all places, and we find it to be a very interesting piece. The marble top, very, very old. Let me show you another very interesting piece here. Here you go. This is an original Monopoly game from 1936 with the wood buildings, the little pewter pieces, and all of that. Monopoly has been around for many, many years, and people love the game. But what's real interesting is we also have Monopoly from Yuma, Arizona. It's the same game done in the same manner, but we have all of the different businesses in the Yuma area. Now, this was produced back in the 70s, I do believe. So we have the hometown Monopoly-styled game right here. Okay, on this nice little side file right here, who's going to give me 5 on that? I look for 5 now, 7.5. 7.5, 10 your way, 12.5 to you over there. Would you go 12.5? $10 bid now, 12.5, now 12.5. Would you go 12.5? $10 bid now, 12.5. What? Twice? I sold it, $10, number 77. Lamps. On these nice little pair of lamps right here. Who's going to go ahead and give me 10 on those? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 5. $40 bid now, 5, now 5. Would you go 45, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5? Once, twice. Sold it, $40 your way, number 37. Bid now 3, now 3. Once, twice. 3 over here. 4 back there. 4, 5, sir. 6 your way, man. Would you go 6 now? Now 7. 7 to you, sir. Would you go 7 now? 7 now, 8. 8 your way, man. Would you go 8 now? Sold it, $7, number 89. 50. $45 bid now, 50 now 50. Once, twice. Sold it, $45, number 16.
My name is Margie Jordan. I have been snowbirding to Yuma from Washington State for, about 10 years. Visited before that quite a bit. And I've loved living in Yuma and all the activities down here, all the friendly people. Unfortunately, my guy passed away this summer, and I've had to make some hard decisions about what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And due to some unfortunate instances, it includes that I will no longer be having this home in Yuma. Once I made the decision to no longer have the home, then I had to decide what I'm going to do with the contents of it. And I've already got a house full at the other end of the country. I didn't need another house full. So I did a lot of research on the internet and a lot of word of mouth. Interviewed a couple of different companies and talked to Phil and decided, especially because of word of mouth and after talking to Phil and Anna, that this would be the best thing for me to do. I decided to choose Big Star Auctions, and I've been very, very pleased. Phil and his crew have done a tremendous job showing me a lot of respect and a lot of professionalism. They've just really hard workers.
$65 bid now, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70. Once, twice. Sold it, $65 your way, number 29. Well, there's probably about 30 of them there. Who give me $1 for them all?
Yes.
1, now 2. $1 bid now 2, now 2. 2, 3, 4, 10, 11. I'm getting dizzy. Sold it, $10, number 55. No, 25. 22.5, now 5, now 5. Once, twice. Sold it, 22.5, number 36.
I live here in Yuma. I've been here for 2 years. We came from California, and I've been coming to Big Star Auction since last year, and I've ended up buying quite a few things at the estate sales that they have. I got a brand new set of golf clubs that were in the bag with the covers over the clubs, everything for $15. I'm waiting for the booze to go on sale. Not the booze, but the glasses. I want to buy some glasses.
I bought a palm tree. Because my wife told me to come here and buy it. Yeah, a palm tree. I used to go to Big Star Auctions a few years back all the time, and I've since bought a home here and moved here, and I just don't normally have the time. But now things are caught up fixing the home up, so now I can start going to the auctions and spending my money foolishly again. Phil runs a really good auction, though. They're very, very fair people. They're very good people. And, I enjoy going to his auctions because there's nothing around the corner. He brings everything out and he tells you if there's something wrong with something or whatever. He's very good that way.
This is a Craftsman vise on this steel wood top bench. 25. Now 30.
Big Star Auctions.